Hey Southeast Gasser fans, I'm David Lancaster, the voice of the Southeast Gassers. For those of you joining us, welcome to Nostalgia Drag Racing. Take a step back in time and enjoy the cars from the 1930s to the 1960s, leaving the start line with their wheels in the air and 9,000 RPM launches off the starting line. These guys will be ripping through gears for all of you to hear the high-pitched noises of those small block Chevys, big block Chevys, Fords, whatever your choice is. I want to welcome everybody in here to Knoxville Dragway, Knoxville, Tennessee for our Southeast Gassers 2024 Knoxville race number 1. We are here with the man himself, Wes Clapp.
How we doing, brother?
Doing great, Wes. So glad to be back here in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Always a pleasure to have the Gassers, brother.
Man, you guys bend over backwards for us, and that's evident in 2 events this year. Again, here at Knoxville Dragway, we love this racing facility. Your crew does a great job, but you know, we see the improvements already this year. Some new bleachers out here. You guys continue to strive to make new improvements. Congratulations to you, and what do you have in store?
Thank you, brother. Of course, you know, folks like you, what make it happen. So the Gassers, several others, our weekly racers, our bracket racers, we're glad each and everybody comes takes part in it. We're thankful for it. We got a long list of stuff. Of course, we got new bleachers. We got another set to put up. We've got another half set. We're going to eventually get started reconstructing our old bleachers. We're going to look at doing a new concession stand 4 long, hopefully some shower houses. So we got a long list of stuff we want to do. Mother Nature hadn't cooperated with us yet this year, but I feel like it's going to take a turn. Of course, we've got a beautiful forecast this weekend, but just lots of upgrades. We don't want to take away the nostalgic view of it, but also we want to fix it up. It's all old. We want to, you know, update the timing system and stuff, but it'll happen in time, brother.
Well, this being, I think this is year 3 for you guys as owners, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Been
a
wild ride, brother. We've done a lot of learning, but I tell you what, we've managed to pull through so far. And everybody thinks it's easy. It's not, but we love it. We're in for the challenge. We're up for it, and bring it on. So.
Well, you definitely are, Wes. I've seen you around here today. I mean, you might be the owner, but you don't just delegate. You're out here actually working. I saw you scrubbing bathroom floor.
That's right, brother. You got to get in there and get it done. I'll never ask anybody to do anything I won't do, so it's the way I roll.
Well, the relationship now with Leslie Horn taking over for Quayne Stott and purchasing the Southeast Gassers, how has that transition been from you as a track owner and promoter trying to bring us in and accommodate? Has there been any change?
No, hadn't noticed a difference. Of course, you know, I deal a lot with Randy and I always have. Of course, we'd talk to Quayne and stuff a lot. I've met Leslie, but never really got to talk to him much, but we did there, I think it was yesterday, got to hang out with him a little bit. It's a super cool cat, and I think going to do good things. So,
speaking of good things, this is always one of our better attended races, and I mean, with the nostalgia of this used to be a circle track and the old bleachers and stuff, you got so much seating for everybody. It's really a great place to watch a race.
Oh yeah, man. Of course, the track was built by the legendary Ed Harvey, which I'd have to go into another story on that, but man had a plan. There was an old speedway a few miles down the road, and some things were going bad with it, and he said, I'm going to come up here. I think the county at one time told him no, and he was the type that said, I want to do it, I'm going to do it. So he brought equipment up here, built a racetrack, built them old bleachers over there with his bare hands, and so that was in the 1963 when they started on that. And then about 1984, they converted it to a drag strip. A fellow by the name of Buddy Bean, I think, got with Ed, and they converted it. It's been a drag strip ever since, brother.
Well, hard work of the people here that you have has made it a success. It's great to have those innovators. We've got over 80 cars, almost 90 cars here today, and that's a testament to the track that you guys put out here for our racers, because if it was junk, they wouldn't want to run their stuff here.
That's right, brother. When we do, we take a lot of our crew, we take a lot of pride in track prep, and you know, you'll see me going to Randy and say, hey guys, y'all need us to do anything. If it's gold dusting, of course, we put down the starting line resin, you know, after every pass, but we work hard on the track, and we want it to be as perfect as it can be.
Well, you've done a great job, and I can't wait to see the future improvements you got. Yeah, thank you so much for having us up here.
You guys.
We appreciate
you. Fans and everybody, so we're glad to have you. Make yourselves at home.
We're ready to go racing.
Right, baby. Let's get it.
All right, fans, now we move into our Superstock category where they run on a spec 7-inch tire here in this category. You're going to see a lot of different combinations here in Superstock, and these cars symbolize what you could have driven to high school and just changed out your slicks and gone to the drag strip.
All right, first matchup we got right here going to be the street legal of Kenny Phillips, the number 3 qualifier, and Kim Haynes, the number 10 qualifier, going to go at it here in the first pair out in Superstock. Kenny Phillips going to take this one in a big-time hole shot victory. So Phillips is going to move on to round number 2. All right, second pair out right here is going to find Brian Dalton and Zach Long. Brian Dalton, the number 5 qualifier. Zach Long, the number 8 qualifier. Zach Long gets a little bit of a whole shot advantage. Brian Dalton having to reel that car in as he goes down the racetrack, but he takes the win right there, does Brian Dalton. Third pair out right here that finds the number 4 qualifier, Eddie Willis, in the gift over there in the mortgage options right lane. He's going to be taking on the number 9 qualifier in Don Wilmot, who finds himself in the quick time performance left lane. 66 Mustang for Wilmot. 67 Camaro, the car of choice for Eddie Willis. All right, both in ready to go. Wilmot with a big whole shot advantage right there. Let's see if he can carry it on through to the end and take the win over Eddie Willis. And he cannot. Eddie Willis going to take the victory right here. And that was a big comeback win for Willis. He had to use that top end horsepower. All right, Randy Keeper gonna make up the third pair right here. Randy Keeper gonna be racing Mickey Huddleston coming up. The number 11 qualifier, Huddleston, in the quick time performance lane. And the number 2 qualifier, Keeper, is going to be over there in the mortgage options lane on the right side. Walkover right here. He leads start to finish. So Kiefer will move on to the next round. Ronnie Jones over there in the mortgage option side. Beautiful race car. Both of these cars are. Both 67 Camaros. Alan Lovelady going to be in the quick time performance lane. He's out of Alabama. Good race right here. Who's it going to be at the stripe? Lovelady takes the win. So Alan Lovelady gets a round win right here. Number 1 qualifier, Jerry Dean. He's going to have a bye run right here by virtue of that number 1 qualifying position here today. Now, the question is, Will he just save equipment and save components, or will he make an absolute run for ET to get Langston? Going to take 5 rounds to decide a champion in C-Gas, and that's the category we're getting ready to get started. We have over 16 cars in the field today, so it's going to take 5 rounds to determine a champion. All right, first pair out, that's going to find Ernie Smith in the Saturday night special. The number 7 qualifier, taking on the number 12 qualifier in Robbie Walden in a Son of Strychnine. Robbie Walden, third generation driver in that 61 Bel Air. The Son of Strychnine finds himself in the quick time performance lane. Something falls off his car out here right past the Larice Motorsports 60-foot camera. Next pair up going to be Scott Wallace in that Indian Express. He'll be part of the second pair out. All right, once again, Ron Allison going to be in the quick time performance lane, the number 9 qualifier. He'll be here in the Mid-State Motorsports entry out of Cookeville, Tennessee. Scott Wallace starting to finish right there as he tags it on the whole shot and makes it happen for him. So Scott Wallace going to move on to round number 2. Next pair up, that's going to be Ben Shaw in the odd rod over there in the mortgage options lane on the right side. Shaw, the number 6 qualifier here today, going to be taking on Dan Hogan out of the Loganville, Georgia area in the flat out Falcon with the Jimmy Huff horsepower right here. He's the number 13 qualifier. Great reaction time right there as he puts Dan Hogan out early right there in that race. So Ben Shaw going to move on to round number 2 in the odd rod. Diana Casto absolutely torching those Mickey Thompsons right there as she gets ready in the 4th pair to take on Josh Pruitt. Casto, the number 11 qualifier. She's going to be taking on the number 8 qualifier in Josh Pruitt out of Inman, South Carolina. Pruitt in the 63 Ford Fairlane. Diana Casto takes the win right there. That is a mini upset. Looks like Pruitt had trouble out there in 3rd gear and allowed Casto to come by. So Diana Casto moves on to round number 2. So Alfred Adams, the number 3 qualifier, Going to be in the 5th pair coming out right here. He's going to be taking on the number 16 qualifier, Jesse Beaver, in the Voodoo Child out of Hagerstown, Maryland. Stays hot. The performance of that car is really on fire as he moves on to round number 2. In the 6th pair out, we got the number 4 qualifier, Jared Purdue. He's going to be taking on Ben Helms. Ben Helms' car goes to the left a little bit off the starting line, and that is all that Purdue needed. As he went straight off the starting line, he got a good launch and unfortunately puts out Ben Helms right here today in first round. All right, next pair up right here going to be Bill Wilson out of Gaffney, South Carolina. This is the 7th pair out. He is the number 5 qualifier. He's going to be taking on Ohio runner Tony Tagenhorst in the Wasted Wages. Beautiful little 63 Chevy 2 over there. Takes the win right there. Tagenhorst got a little drop on him on the starting line, but Bill Wilson drove right back by him. Tasha McLemore out of Clinton, Tennessee in the Your Huckleberry 55 Chevy sits over in the mortgage options lane. And she's going to take on the number 2 qualifier, and that is Todd Oden in the 58 Delray. As Todd Oden leaves the line and is never looking back, and he moves on to round number 2. Tim Hall, the number 1 qualifier here today, and our 2-time defending world champion, he is going to receive a bye in the first round by being that number 1 qualifier. So he is about to take the tree. I'm sure he's going to run for an ET number so he can keep that 67 Rambler that he campaigned in the lane that he won. Hometown man Brian Dalton Sr. right here out of Sevierville, Tennessee, and that Falcon going to choose the mortgage options right-hand lane for the Dalton gang car. Randy Keeper, the number 2 qualifier here today, is going to be in the quick time performance lane in his Pontiac Chieftain right here. quite enough, as he had a little starting line advantage, did Dalton, on Kiefer, but Kiefer comes back and drives around him on the big end. Phillips in the street legal right here, going to be in the quick time performance lane on the tower side. He's out of Campobello, South Carolina, taking on the Indiana driver, Eddie Willis, in the 67 Camaro, the gift that he calls it. Stands it up, something happens. Looks like Willis just goes out there and loses power. You see the car nose over about half track, and Kenny Phillips going to take the win in the street legal right there. Alan Lovelady in the underdog out of Hayden, Alabama. Going to be here in the quick time performance left lane. He's going to be racing Jerry Dean, the man, the #1 qualifier, a man who's got a potential new record for ET coming if he can back it up in this car, the Chevy 2 that it sits in the mortgage options lane on the right side. And once again, Jerry Dean has been the killer this year. He has just annihilated all the competition in our Superstock category as he has won every race. That means he is undefeated in round racing. Goes on in and hits the stage button, and here we go. Dean gets a whole shot advantage, and that's all he's going to need. Without a mechanical failure, Dean takes the win right there, and Jerry Dean continues his onslaught in this Superstock category. Great matchup coming up. Couple of trucks. Now, they've done it before. This is not the first time these trucks have matched up. Bill Wilson out of Gaffney, South Carolina, in the 49 Studebaker, the under new management troublemaker. He's going to be taking on Ben Shaw in the Odd Rod out of Lebanon, Tennessee. Well, we got a drag race here, folks. And Bill Wilson takes the win. Another one of those Molly Motorsports finish line cameras that I'd be interested to see. Todd Oates going to take his bye run right here, and no doubt he's going to take it to where he is going to try for lane choice. The 58 Del Rey out of Birmingham, Alabama, coming to the attention of his wife Gina Oates, standing bringing her husband into the lights. Joey Reed, crew chief, behind the left rear tire right there of his cousin Todd Oates. Next up going to be Diana Castro in the quick draw. That Falcon over in the mortgage options lane on the right side. She'll be taking on Alfred Adams out of Clover, South Carolina in the 55 Chevy. Alfred Adams really feeling good here lately as the car performance has really improved since going over to the Gene Fulton power plant that he's got underneath the hood right now. He said it's forced him to have to get some other things together. He's got Brian Harris that has worked on the chassis for him a little bit and tried to straighten it up for him to get that car going in a good, consistent pattern down the racetrack. Diana Casto and her husband Dana Casto worked on this car, this quick draw, themselves in their West Virginia home, and it has definitely saw a performance increase this year in 2024. Alfred Adams lets the clutch out a little too soon and rolls the beam, and red is dead in any type of drag racing. All right, Scott Wallace there in that 52 Pontiac, the Indian Express, going to be in the quick time performance lane. He's going to be having a big chore on his hand right here as he's trying to take out the #1 qualifier here today at Knoxville Dragway, and our two-time defending world champion Tim Hall in our C-Gas category. Scald and Dog Rambler sits in the mortgage options lane on the right side. Tim Hall builds his own motors and takes care of those, as well as his dad being the crew chief for him and his brother helping out with a lot of the duties on that car as well. Scott Wallace comes in second to the beams. Tim Hall sits in the pre-stage, and we're getting ready to get them staged up and go right now. Something happened with Tim Hall right there, not a customary leave for Hall, and he gets eliminated right here in this round, as that did not look right by Tim Hall coming off the line. Something happened over there, and now Scott Wallace will move on, and Tim Hall has been eliminated here today. Jaron Perdue right there in the stud muffin, the 62 Chevy 2 wagon. He'll be over in the mortgage options lane, and Ernie Smith out of Spartanburg, South Carolina in the Saturday night special, the 66 Chevy 2 four-door, will be in the quick time performance lane right here on the left side. Takes a win right there over Ernie Smith. Another good drag race, neck and neck down there at the line. All right, big time matchup right here as Jared Perdue is going to be taking on the Double X of Todd Oden, a car that's been running real well. As we move on into the quarterfinals right here, going to decide who goes to the semis. Perdue out of Ohio went down to Alabama and bought the stud muffin, the 62 Chevy 2 wagon from Ricky Jones with the Gene Fulton power plant in it. A top running car. It had already won 2 world championships earlier with Fulton Power. So he went and bought it and got out of the Adams County Outlaw this weekend. And now he's taking on Todd Oden, the man who's won the last 2 races in a row and looking to make it 3 in a row here today at SEGA. Perdue turns on the red light as he knew he was up against Todd Oden, so Todd Oden's win light comes on. Diana Casto having a bye run right here in this round of competition, so be interested to see which lane she chooses and what she decides to do with this bye run. Be a pretty good matchup right here with Gene Fulton Power under the hood for the troublemaker Scott Wallace using some of that one-way technology heads right there, but I think the Clover family provides the performance for that motor. Bill Wilson marches on. That was a good run right there for him as he got a little bit of a advantage on the tree right here, and he drove it through the other end and made it work for him. All right, here we go with Superstock semifinals right here. Jerry Dean, #1 qualifier, going to be over there in the mortgage options lane on the right side. And Kenny Phillips right here in the street legal. He'll be in the quick time performance lane on the left side. Winner of this one going to go to the finals where they'll face Randy Kiefer. Dean doing a little wall riding right there. He didn't touch the wall, but boy, he was out there in that gray a little bit. But he still took the win right there over Kenny Phillips. So he'll move on to the finals where he'll get the man coming up around the corner in the Spine Tingler. That is none other than Randy Kiefer from Crossing, Tennessee. Folks, he's got the lights on. I want you to look at the head unit of this Pontiac right here on the hood. He's even got the lights to work in that car. It is so cool. So that hood ornament that he's got right there of those big Pontiac Chieftains, he's got the lights working in that. When he turns them on, it is really, really cool. Randy Kiefer. On the starting line, so he went ahead and aborted that run at half track. All right, SEGA semifinalists coming around the corner right now. There's Diana Casto in the quick draw Falcon. As I mentioned many times before, Casto and her husband Dana Casto, they are really improving the performance of that car, and it's shown here today as they are finding themselves in the semifinals. They're going to be up against the Double X of Todd Oden out of Birmingham, Alabama, that 1958 Delray. One-Way Technologies horsepower underneath the hood for him. Todd Oden beat on the line just a little bit. He's going to have to try to run her down, and he does so. So Todd Oden in the Double X on the quick time performance lane will advance. Billy Wilson clawed and fought his way through and earned a bye here. So he is going to take the mortgage options lane right here. Let's see if he, looks like he has rolled through the water box. And he's going to take it easy on this Gene Fulton power plant that he has underneath the hood of this 49 Studebaker. That's just what he's going to do, take a Saturday night stroll right down the mortgage options lane right here, get his truck back, keep it cooled down, and take on Todd Oden in the finals of SEGA.
I'm Randy Kiefer, driver of the Superstock 956 Spine Tingler. And you know, I was asked what makes Superstock Superstock. Well, again, making us go with a factory front end is a big deal. Limits us a lot on what we can do. Rear end, we got a tire that's just really tiny, and that's a big thing. And then a pretty stock rear suspension, so they don't give us a lot of leeway there. So it makes it challenging.
All right, Jerry Dean going to take that mortgage options right-hand side over there, where he has been pretty much all day besides his other qualifying run. And Randy Kiefer going to be here in the Spine Tingler. He'll be in the quick time performance lane in that Pontiac Chieftain right there. 55 Pontiac Chieftain wagon. 406 cubic inches of Butler performance underneath the hood for him. 331 cubic inches of small block Chevy in there for Jerry Dean. Both cars on that spec 7-inch tire. Jerry Dean with a whole shot advantage right there. And I think that's going to be all he needs. That 60-foot camera saw those wheels in the air, and Jerry Dean powers on.
Jerry Dean, I believe you got more than a rabbit up your pants right here, buddy.
I feel pretty lucky, I really do. We fought this thing all day, and we had a lot of help from Mr. Rainwater and Ken and Wayne Young. They backed us and helped us a lot, and for some reason we just don't good at this track. We just can't seem to get down it sometime, and we was fortunate today, and we're tickled with that, you know, and just hope it continues.
Well, I did see you get over close to the wall one time, but you know, still, you was out ETing everybody pretty heftily.
Well, I think the time I got over close to the wall, there was a pretty lady up there waving, and I was waving, and I think I kind of got out of whack there just a little bit.
Kind of drew you to her attention.
That's right.
But hey, a new ET record for Superstock. You were able to achieve that today, and for a track that you don't get down too good, you're still bringing home the hardware.
Well, we fought it all day. get the clutch like we wanted, and we knew when we run Randy Kiefer, they're the greatest people in the world, that we had to be on our A game. So we hit on something thanks to Wayne Young, and it worked.
Well, it's great that you give Wayne that credit, but he's going to have to increase the size of his hat, because his head might get a little bit big.
Yeah, I can't say much because me and him goes back to the beginning of dirt, so we know each other in our young days, so I can't bring that up too much.
Well, we want to congratulate you, man. Winner here in Superstock and winner in every race we've had so far this year. I mean, so that bounty's going to only increase on your head.
That's right, and I hope it continues. I really do. We're just pleased that we're running this good, but we know there'll come a day when we won't run this good. So we're just proud to be running this good right now.
Well, today is your day here at Knoxville Dragway in Superstock. Jerry Dean again.
Thank you.
All right, Todd Oden going to be over there in the right side in the mortgage auctions lane in the 58 Delray. One-way technologies underneath the hood for him in the Oden & Son 58 Delray Double X. Billy Wilson out of Gaffney, South Carolina, going to be here in the 49 Studebaker once again with the G full power underneath the hood for him. Starting line advantage for Bill Wilson. Is that enough to take the win? Bill Wilson takes the win, so Billy Wilson gets the win there and puts the troublemaker into victory lane in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Bill Wilson, it is so good to see you back in victory lane. Look at that smile on your face, man.
All I say is this truck's running good tonight.
Well, that Gene Fulton power was powering it down the racetrack.
Yes, sir. It's doing really good tonight. Knoxville's been good to us.
Yeah, you do like this racetrack, and this truck being built in Tennessee, it sure does like Tennessee.
It sure does. We've done really good at this track.
Well, Bill, I know you've been doing a lot of different things out here with the truck, and you're trying to get yourself back in this truck and doing well. Talk about some of the help that you've had to get back here to this point.
Well, our crew and all have been really good, and then Brian Harris Race Cars has helped us a lot, and Leslie, and this seems like everything's coming together and getting a little faster.
Well, a little bit faster in this tough C-gas category is a great thing. So you being on the top of the mountain this week, you could be on the bottom of the mountain when we go to Union, but it is a tough category, and tonight you get to celebrate the spoils of being on top.
Yeah, because everybody's getting faster every week.
Yeah, if you're going to come out here and race with the Southeast Gassers, you better have everything clicking.
Yeah, it's all got to work together because we broke a transmission in second round qualifying, so we had to put a transmission in.
Well, I know you've been through some things with your eye, and it looks like that's doing well, and you're seeing well and getting down that racetrack, and we're awful glad that that's happening for you, and glad to have you back in victory lane.
All right, thank you.
Your winner tonight in SEGA, Mr. Bill Wilson.